Good afternoon. My name is Steve Williams. I'm a global solar panel cleaning consultant and also the founder and managing director of Clean Solar Solutions. Clean Solar Solutions are a UK-based O&M contractor. Very much our specialist subject, though, is solar panel cleaning. And so I've been asked to speak to you today about solar panel cleaning, the current state of the market, the value and pricing surrounding solar panel cleaning, and also some of the risks to avoid when choosing a solar panel cleaning contractor. So I thought it would be a good place to begin by talking about the current state of solar panel cleaning and some of the methods that are used. When I first started cleaning solar panels back in 2012, pretty much the only method that was available to us was using water-fed poles with brushes, and we cleaned tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of solar panels manually back in those days. And then as time progressed and technology moved on, just a short while later, tractor-mounted systems became very popular for cleaning ground-mounted solar arrays. And that is still the most popular form of solar panel cleaning when it comes to large-scale ground-mount solar panel cleaning. However, we do see a shift in technologies. We are seeing a huge rise of the robots, as it were. There are many thousands of patents awaiting approval, and people are trying to get approval for solar panel cleaning robots, varying different designs and varying different sizes. Some designed specifically for the ground-mounted market, some designed specifically for roof-mounted solar panel cleaning, and some are trying to tackle both areas with their design and with their approach. So I personally see that the robotic market will be the future. They have many of the efficiencies of tractor-mounted solar panel cleaning, but they lack some of the drawbacks. So what are some of the drawbacks associated with manual cleaning? Well, manual cleaning is slower, obviously, than robotic and tractor-mounted cleaning. The advantage is that you use less water. You're able to get up close and personal to see the soiling that you're dealing with. And so there will always be, even on ground-mounted solar arrays, parts of solar farms and solar parks where manual cleaning really will be your only option. So there'll always be a place for manual cleaning, in my opinion. So with tractor-mounted cleaning, the advantages are they're very efficient. You can clean a huge amount of solar panels in a day. Some of the downsides to tractor-mounted cleaning are costs associated with getting tractors to and from site. They're big, bulky machines, and so sometimes damage can occur. The tractor, if it's not being driven correctly or carefully, can be driven into panels and framework, and damage can be done to combiner boxes. Damage can also be done to the ground. The ground can suffer compaction, and also it can be churned up when the wheels of the tractor are turning in certain circumstances. So with robots, they seek to eliminate some of the issues that both manual and tractor cleaning present. They can be nearly as efficient as tractor-mounted cleaning, so you can still clean a lot of solar panels in a day. They can provide a high quality of cleaning. They won't damage the ground in the way that a tractor-mounted solar panel cleaning system can. It's very, very difficult indeed to damage solar panels with correct use of the robot. But they still do provide a very good and efficient form of cleaning. And obviously this is less labor intensive when compared with manual cleaning also. So the robot industry is not the finished product yet. Some of the robots that are out there, in my opinion, are still in prototype phase. They're good, but they need to develop with the way that their reliability issues that they present, and also some of the way that they move around on some of the panels. They're not quite catching every single square inch of every single panel, but some of the newer robots are seeking to tackle these issues. So I'm quite confident that robotic solar panel cleaning will become the future that we will see globally. So let's talk for a moment about solar panel cleaning pricing. Solar panel cleaning costs often make up the largest single component of an O&M budget. So you have the O&M budget split off across various services, but very often the cleaning makes up the biggest single component of an O&M budget. with this statement in mind, I still find it very surprising that there are some O&M companies out there that are offering O&M contracts that doesn't include cleaning. And some people may say, well, you would say that because you're a cleaning guy. That may be partially the case. However, I think it's very well established now that solar panels need cleaning. The frequency may vary, but in every O&M contract, solar panel cleaning and a budget for this should be accounted for. Over the last 3 years or so, we have heard at many of these events that we've attended about the race to the bottom when it comes to O&M costs. So let me just give you an insight specifically into solar panel cleaning and the budget and the costs involved there. The amount that we were able to charge when I started solar panel cleaning back in 2012, we were charging roughly around £2,000 per megawatt on ground mount arrays. Now, that amount was being charged, it was being paid, and our clients still saw that that was value for money at that particular time. Whereas now in the UK, we see varying prices tend to be between 550 megawatts up to £900 per megawatts. The lowest price that I've heard of over the last 12 months is a worryingly low £400 per megawatt. So that is an 80% reduction on the price that we were charging back in 2012. And when we're thinking about pricing and how much the solar panel cleaning costs, we've discussed the ground mounted side of things, but roof mounted solar panel cleaning, very much a different ball game, very much a different price point. So if you're used to dealing with ground mount solar panel cleaning and ground mount O&M contract budgets, and you make your way into the rooftop sector, you can expect a whole different price point. The risks obviously associated with a rooftop solar panel cleaning are massively increased. The training that you need in order to clean panels safely on a roof is increased, and so all of this equates to a higher cleaning cost. If you want to go even further into floating solar, well, you can't compare floating solar to either ground mount costs or roof mounted costs. You're going up another level there as well. Floating solar is very much a developing technology. O&M is still very primitive in floating solar. We have cleaned floating solar arrays successfully. We know what it takes in order to clean them successfully. But the price point is higher than roof mounted solar because it takes so long to do. And again, the risks associated with floating solar are in some ways greater than even rooftop cleaning. So it's something to bear in mind that ground mount can't be compared with roof mount, and roof mount can't be compared with floating solar. You have to look at the three price points individually. When we consider the lower end of the scale that we've mentioned there, let's talk at a price point of £550 per megawatt. If a tractor mounted system can clean around 3 megawatt in a day, then that gives you a figure of £1,650 per day that you're able to clean with a tractor at that price point of £550 per megawatt. Well, by the time you factor in your staff training, your staff wages, diesel, accommodation costs, insurance costs, transportation costs to get your tractor to and from that site, water purification costs, and other little things that go along with what makes up a solar panel cleaning company, well, there's very little profit left in these jobs at £550 per megawatt. You need to be cleaning a huge amount of solar to have a profitable solar panel cleaning business if you're charging £550 a megawatt. So I see that if you're looking for that price point permanently or even further down toward that £400 per megawatt price, there is a risk of two things that I already see taking place in the industry. The first one is that leaders and business owners of very good, very reliable solar panel cleaning companies are losing enthusiasm for the market entirely, and they're considering leaving the industry. I was talking to one business owner, and he said if he knew about the amount of grief involved in solar panel cleaning for the small profit margin that he was making, he would never have become involved in the industry at all. So by driving down the price, you are risking alienating leading companies that just simply cannot make it profitable to clean for the price points that you need them to aim towards. The second risk, if you're always trying to drive the price down, is that corners start to get cut and standards of solar panel cleaning decline because companies are being forced to cut their cloth accordingly. So how can corners be cut? This sort of links us nicely into some of the risks involved. So the risk that we're going to talk about is trying to drive down the price. What happens if we do that? Well, one of the main corners that can be cut is that water does not get purified. We will end out, as we do already in the UK, seeing companies dragging water from reservoirs, taking water from boreholes, using mains, untreated and unpurified water. And all of those things can lead to spotting on panels, and they can all lead to a poor finish. So yes, it is possible to run around at 400 to 500 pound per megawatt, but one of the corners that's likely to be cut is the cost of water purification. The second and more obvious one is that people rush. People drive their tractor quicker, they drive their robot quicker. They're not as thorough with the pole as they need to be in order to remove the soiling. They have to clean X amount of panels per day because the price per megawatt has been driven down. So as a result, people are not doing as thorough a job as they could or as they should. And so that's another risk if you're continuing to run the price down. Another more sinister and crafty way that I know that I've seen this on sites where solar panel cleaning companies, so-called, have been there before us, is that they will clean the perimeter of a solar farm. So let's say the front gate of the solar farm takes you to the front row of the solar panels. They will clean maybe the first front 5 or 6 rows of solar panels. Beyond that, they may do the first 2, 3 sets of tables on every single row as they go further and further into the solar farm. And then they might do the back few rows of the solar farm as well. But if you had to have a bird's eye view of that solar farm, you would see that only roughly the perimeter of the solar farm has been cleaned and the central piece is not cleaned. Why do people think they're going to get away with doing that? Well, if you were to assign your O&M engineer the task of walking up and down every single row of a 25, 35, 40 megawatt solar farm, checking on the quality of the solar panel cleaning, that is a very mind-numbing and laborious task for that individual. Solar panel cleaning companies, a few of them, a couple of them, think, well, there's no way anyone's going to walk every single row, but they might walk up the edge. So what we'll do is we'll clean the tables that they can see this side, and we'll clean the tables that they can see easily on that side. We'll do the first few rows, because if they have a school visit or some of the investors come and visit the site, they're not going to walk like half a mile to the back of the site. They're just going to see those first few rows. If the first few rows look clean, they'll assume that the rest of the site looks clean as well. And so you have the center of the solar farm that just isn't clean, and they miss a whole swathe of it because they have to hit this low price point that people are trying to get them to do. So it's easy, really, if you really want to make a solar farm look clean and to cut a corner, but actually you know that it's not been cleaned. And if you have the same company do that 2, 3, 4 times on a yearly basis, your perimeter of your solar farm looks fine. But when actually somebody can be bothered and does have need to go into the center of the solar farm, they might find that those solar panels are filthy, and they might find that they're covered in lichen, which is another risk that we're going to come on to discuss. So we need to ask a question then when it comes to asset owners and investors trying to drive down the price of solar panel cleaning into a very low price point. Is it really worth the risk? You have assets built in fields that are worth millions of pounds, but maybe there is a feeling that you begrudge paying an extra 50, 100, 150 pound per megawatt to use a professional company who's going to go in there with the right kit, correctly trained staff. They're going to use their kit in a safe manner. They're going to use their kit in a manner that they know they can take their time, be thorough with their cleaning, and they're still going to make their profit at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and at the end of that job. But there seems to be a feeling that people take a punt on Corner Cutters R Us Limited, a company who's never been heard of with no track record, because they're cheap. Let's get them in. They're cheap. Let's get it blitzed. I can then just tick a box. And still there seems to be a feeling that panel cleaning is nothing more than a box ticking exercise. So there is a risk reward ratio there to save a few £100, but in my mind, it just isn't worth it. Get the company in that's got the track record, that's got the correctly trained staff, that's got all of the history and the good reputation that goes along with it. And then you know that you don't need to send your guy in there to walk each and every row at £350 a day. Pay that money to the panel cleaning company who you know has got the good reputation, and you know you don't need to go behind them checking their work because you just know it's going to be spot on for you. So let's talk about other risks associated with solar panel cleaning. Another risk is not cleaning at all or not cleaning often enough. So that's the risk. The effect of not cleaning at all or not cleaning often enough is that you can get etching from bird soiling, where the bird soiling eats away at the glass of the panel, etches its way into the glass, and if left too long, even if you remove all of the bird soiling from that panel, you'll still be left with the blotches where you can see the acid in the bird droppings has eaten into the glass. And then that creates a shadowing effect on the solar panels. Another effect is here in the UK, we see a lot of lichen growth. It seemed to not be a problem in the early days, but it seems to be in lots and lots of environments, in lots and lots of solar farms, lots and lots of roof mounted systems, commercial and residential. Lichen is a huge problem here in the UK, and it's very difficult to remove from solar panels effectively. And it really does have an impact because each individual piece of lichen creates its own hotspot. And when you fly the drones over, you can just see hundreds and thousands of hotspots all over these solar panels. And if that's left unchecked, that can lead to cell degradation and then permanent failures within panels. So lichen is absolutely to be avoided at all costs, but it will come and it will bite you and bite you hard if you're not cleaning the panels often enough. So the remedy then for this, we know the risk, we know the effect. What is the remedy? Well, the remedy is very, very simple. Clean the panels regularly. I've written a piece of research that if people want to contact me, I can send to them, which goes into detail about why lichen grows on solar panels. And it's all to do with it being a symbiote. Lichen needs something else for it to grow off. And in the case of solar panels, it seems to be green algae that grows on a microscopic level. That's the symbiote for the lichen. The lichen then can grow along with the nitrogen and the ammonia that's needed and other little bits and bobs, and it can absolutely bloom across solar panels within a 12-month period. So if you're not cleaning your solar panels annually, then you are running the risk of lichen starting to grow on the panels. So another risk that we've sort of touched on is the cheapest contractor. Something just cheap is not always good. You know, just isn't. So sometimes you are best off paying the extra 50 quid, 100 quid a megawatt and just getting the right company in that you know is going to do the proper job. Not following the cleaning, the advice rather of the cleaning contractor. So this can come in many different forms. It can tell you about increasing your cleaning frequency from annual to 6 monthly, or you may even need 3 cleans a year during the spring and summer months. An experienced panel cleaning company is not just going to come to you and follow a once a year schedule. They may decrease it and say, actually, we can go 14, 15 months without cleaning this site. We always, as a company, recommend every panel to be cleaned annually. And we know that you're not going to run in the risk of having lichen grow on the solar panels. But if a cleaning company comes to you and says, you need to increase it to 6 monthly, and these are the reasons why, it's very likely that they're not there just to take the extra money from you. It's because they recognize that there is something on that site or an area of that site that's presenting a problem. And so therefore you do well to heed their advice. So coming on to this subject of lichen, just to touch on it a little bit more detail, the drier desert-based places don't seem to see it. Places like central Spain and southern Spain, where you get the higher temperatures. In the Middle East, I haven't yet found any reports or seen any lichen grown on solar panels in the Middle East, but certainly Europe, Germany and Italy and France and Belgium and the UK, the Netherlands, all of these places I've seen and heard reports of lichen growing on solar panels. And the only way that lichen can grow, the only way, is if the panels are not being cleaned often enough. Because if you take away the symbiote, then the lichen cannot grow. So it's very, very important to keep on top of the frequency of cleaning the solar panels. So is it possible to remove lichen from solar panels? The answer is yes, it is possible, but it's a pricey process. We offer it as a company, as a service. We tackle everything from residential lichen removal all the way up to utility scale lichen removal, but it does carry a cost. You have a chemical that needs to be applied to the solar panels. That needs time to work its way in, and then you have to carefully remove the lichen. And so that really stretches out the time it takes to clean 1 panel, 10 panels, 100 panels. It's a multiple of if you just standard clean. And as a result of lichen being such a prolonged process of removing it from the panels, then obviously the cost of that has to go up as well. So your price per megawatt is massively inflated if you allow your solar farm or your solar array to deteriorate to the point where it has lichen growing on it. So it's much cheaper and easier, and it just makes more sense to clean the panels regularly rather than let them deteriorate to a point where you've got a big cleaning bill coming your way. So that's one of the key messages from this, is just clean regularly. Don't let lichen start growing on your solar panels. So I hope that's given you some sort of an insight. I would have been live in the background answering questions. If any of you have any further questions, then please feel free to contact me and I'll try to answer those in good order. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention.